Alright, how's it going, YouTube? Here, I'm going to do a review on a fridge. This is not necessarily a truck fridge, and this is actually my fourth take. I have a wife and kids, and every time I get towards the end of the video, one of them comes running out screaming. The last one came out screaming about their Paw Patrol. I told them to get it. They're in the bathroom right now getting a bath, so this is about the only chance I have to do this. So here we go. This is the Smad 40L absorption refrigerator. It runs off 110 volts and also has a plug for the 12 volt cigarette lighter outlet. I've already unboxed it. I've seen too many videos on where the guy's trying to there's no way I'm going to pull that out with one hand while I'm holding the camera. So here is the provisions for the 12 volt plug. You get a white and black wire. According to the instructions, it does not matter which goes on which. Now, if you think that's going to be a problem, leave a comment and tell me why. But I can't find anything online that says against it. This is a Chinese made fridge. I'm going off their instructions, and right now I have it plugged into the outlet at 110 volts. I can feel heat coming up here. There's no moving parts. It's kind of hard to see. You got all them coils up there, and then like the heat exchanger, and I think this is the boiler is what they call it. It heats up the refrigerant and evaporates it up to here. It has a little drip can because these will inherently produce a little bit of moisture inside, and then when they get from cycling or whatever, if they sit, the water will drip into here, and you got to clean this out every once in a while. You do want to make sure that you leave some space behind it when you install it. Like I said, there's heat coming up here. There's no vents on the side. It's just a hair under 16 inches wide. If I can get the tape measure. Just a hair, and it'll be perfect. It is just 18 inches deep. And it is exactly 22 inches tall. Now I know it looks a little different on the camera, but it is 22 inches tall for the sake of this video. Now inside, you actually get a decent amount of storage. So from, I'm going to say usable, at least 8.5 inches deep. And if we can, and about 12 inches wide. And just a little under 18 inches tall in there. You have adjustable shelves. You also get these that can be moved up one or down one, I think. And you have these little sliders on this shelf right here, so you can adjust these. And I'm thinking maybe a drink or something or whatever you want to put in there, but you could actually fit quite a bit of water bottles in there. And here's a heat exchanger. Like this right now is actually getting really, really cold. Like way cold, and there's like ice or whatever forming on it. And there you can see it's good and made a good old Chinesium right there, but thank God, because it's hell of a lot cheaper than a Peterbilt or a Kenworth one. And right there you can see it, and they're claiming it draws 65 watts, and from what I read, people have actually proven it actually draws about closer to 75. The net volume is 40 liters. The gross is 41 liters. And the refrigerant is an NH3, and it holds 72 grams. It's a Class N fridge. Seems pretty well built. If you look up here, you have a thermostat. You can control it all the way down to like 32 degrees. And it has an LED light, 2 of them. And the thing about the LED though is if you use a 12 volt on your truck, you won't get the light. I don't know why that is. Maybe one of you guys could explain to me. Maybe they cheaped out. They didn't want to put an extra voltage regulator or whatever. Whatever. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not going to get into all that. All I know is that this is going to keep my veggies and my water cold. And that's what I need. I am actually a vegetarian, and I've been a vegetarian for almost a year now, and that's going to be a topic on another video. But these fridges have really helped me lose a lot of weight because I can pack a lot healthier food and water and stuff with me, and I don't have to stop at a Pilot and be tempted to go get a corn dog or some crap. But other than that, like, there it is. I mean, I drive a 2019 T800W, and the right side of my sleeper, the passenger side, has a opening, and I measured it, and the opening was right at 16. I mean, right on. So this is just a hair under, and I hope it fits. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to squeeze it in there, which is good because this doesn't have any mounting hardware. But there's no refrigerant in the sides, so I don't think it would be a horrible idea if a guy had to somehow mount into this. I would be extremely careful and have to do some more research. I'm not going to recommend you guys do that. Maybe put a strap around it or something would be a lot wiser choice. But tomorrow I got to get to work, and I'm going to haul a drill rig local, but I'm going to get there early and we'll do a video of actually putting this thing in. So, like I said, this thing was $255 shipped to the house. I have Amazon Prime, so it didn't take long at all. And I hope it works, because if you go to Kenworth and you ordered their fridge, I mean, it is practically $900 to $1,200. Don't get me wrong, it'd be way nice, but I just don't have that kind of money to blow on something like this. I just have to buy ice if this doesn't work out, but I think this is going to work out good. And the other last note on these is you can't just turn them on and expect them to be cold. This has already been running for an hour and a half. And it's actually getting pretty nice and cold inside. You don't want to put warm food or room temperature items in here while it's trying to chill. It's going to take a lot longer from what I read. This is all just speculation right now because this is my first experience with one of these. And it also is changeable, so you can change the hinges. And like I'm not sure if I mentioned, but you see that? You can put it right up against something and it'll still open. Like this, it does not look like it goes past the sidewall right here. So that's a very good thing. And you also get this bracket, so if you want to change the side that the door opens, and there's your Chinesium instructions. They're very basic, but they're a hell of a lot better than a lot of stuff that comes from China. See, this is actually classified as a mini bar fridge, and it should not slant, so you don't want to put these up on a shelf and at an angle like sitting like that. They need to sit flat. And see, it shows you how to connect a 12-volt connector, and it tells you don't add any wires to it, don't duct tape on a freaking coat hanger to extend it out. Right here, this is what you get with it, and that's what you use. If you can't use that, now I know what I would do, and I'm not going to tell you guys yay or nay, but I would cut these off and solder on the same gauge wire that it has, and it looks to be, if I can, pretty thick wires. It's having a hard time. Okay, so it's AUG14, AWG14. So you'd have to get, I would personally rather just get one long piece. If you had to make it a little longer, I don't see that it would harm it, but I would not recommend doing that. You would be better off wiring a new outlet from a battery hooked to a fused onto a switchable source, and make sure you do everything right, because if you do something wrong and the truck was to catch on fire, I mean, some of these trucks don't have doors. So like I said, a lot of you guys have a lot of common sense, so be very wise on how you mount this. And like I said, there's a lot of heat that's coming up from here, and it's actually kind of leveled off now. When it was running full steam, there was a way more heat coming up, and now it's kind of leveled off. I need to get my infrared thermometer, and we could see actually what kind of heat. Now in the wintertime, this is going to be awesome, maybe my bunk heater won't have to run so much, but in the summertime it's probably going to strain my AC a little bit. But I have a brand new truck, so I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. I'd rather have cold water personally. And like I said, it has a locks and keep other people from getting your sandwiches or whatever. So check in tomorrow sometime or the next day and I'll have the installation video. But I'll post a link in the description of what this is and where I got it. There's a brand name. It is DC 12 volt instructions. And then here is the other instructions. So they don't give you a bunch, but they give you installation guides, how to operate temperature control, like all the parts and whatnot, how to reverse a door, like anything you're really going to need to know is here. So like I said, for a Chinesium fridge, this is looking pretty good. And the reason I went with this route was because my coworker went to Home Depot and bought, it was like just a mini fridge from Home Depot, so I'm pretty sure it runs a compressor. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it has a compressor, and he leaves it plugged into his inverter, but he can't run it all the time when the truck's off, or otherwise it dies. But he says it works out, but he has a Peterbilt with a smaller sleeper that's a flat top, so it's pretty much sitting right here on the floor behind his passenger seat, and it takes up a lot of leg room, and that's not really what I wanted for my truck. But I'm hoping this fits, guys, or we might be doing a giveaway here on a fridge because I'll have to get it the smaller one. Thing with a smaller one is, though, it has the same width dimensions, and the same depth. I think it's just a couple inches shorter than this one, so that's why I chose to go with this one, because my opening is like 26 inches tall and this is only 22, so it'll give me a couple inches on top for the ventilation. And the plan is I need to make I'm going to make a wooden floor with some raised feet, so I get a little bit of ventilation underneath it and a little bit on top, so as the heat rises out, it'll cause it to pull in some air, like a thermal convection or whatever they call it. And I believe it'll run a lot better. And also, I've seen guys, they put fans on these, and it actually circulates air in here. Use little computer fans. They hardly draw any power at all, but we're just gonna run it as it is for now, and then we'll start looking at some modifications and make this thing a little bit more efficient. But for $250, it's really not a bad deal. I mean, the truck stop's charging $2 to $3 for a bag of ice. In the wintertime, it might last a few days. If you have a Yeti cooler, that's even better. But this thing, I believe, is cheaper than a similar size Yeti cooler. And if you were buying a bag of ice every other day or every third day, I will let you guys do the math on that. But I believe anywhere from 3 to 5 months, this thing is going to pay for itself. I mean, if you have the room to put one of these, I'm going to recommend that you find some type of fridge. Another YouTuber, Instagram buddy I have, Arturo's World, he said he got the Dometric ones, and I seen those, but they are expensive. So I thought I'd try this first and see how it works. If not, I'm just going to have to shell the money out and get the built-in one from Kenworth and see how she goes there. So stay tuned. This will be posted up tonight, and tomorrow we'll get the installation video. Peace.